It's a new year. Yes, it is. Right now on Wrestling with Fans. Let's do it. What is good, everyone? And welcome to this week's edition of the Wrestling with Fans podcast. This is a pro wrestling podcast created by fans for fans from fans' perspective. My name is Kyle. This is episode 219. It's a new year. Yes, it is. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to 2023. It is January the 2nd. This show is dropping late in the evening. I was hoping to get it done earlier today, but it's dropping late this evening. And if you're checking us out on YouTube, what is up, YouTube? The YouTube videos are going to drop on Tuesdays. The audio show Monday, video show Tuesday. So make sure you keep track of that. Real quick, Happy New Year. 2022 is officially in the books. We're into 2023. And wow, 2022 was a year. So what we're going to do on this show, I'm just going to talk about a couple things that come to mind for 2022. This is completely off the cuff. No scripting or nothing. I'm just going to go completely off the dome for 2022. Just a couple things I want to talk about. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter show again. I'm kind of digging these shorter shows, and I think it'll work a lot better with the audio-video format if I keep the shows a little bit shorter. So before we do much more, let's just get all the pay the bills, so to speak, as they say, and check out Facebook, all that stuff, the social medias of Wrestling with Fans. Let me just interrupt myself here for a quick moment. First off, thank you for checking out Wrestling with Fans here on YouTube. If you're enjoying what you see, make sure to leave a big old thumbs up and click that subscribe button down below. The other ways you can help support the show is to follow us across all of our other social medias. Check us out, facebook.com/Wrestling with Fans. Hulk smash that like button to keep up to date with everything going on here with Wrestling with Fans. Or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Wrestling with Fans. Check us out on the web at WrestlingWithFans.com. New audio shows go up every single Sunday at midnight. Or you can take us on the go and download us to your favorite podcast, the listening device. You can get us wherever you get your podcast fix. Just search Wrestling with Fans Podcast. We are on all the major platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Wherever you get your podcast fix, you can find Wrestling with Fans. Last but certainly not least, comments, questions, feedback, topics you want covered on the show, shoot me an email, wwfshow@gmail.com. Again, that's wwfshow@gmail.com. Links to everything are down in the video description and down below, so make sure you check that out. Without further ado, back to the show. Coming back in here, thank you for plugging the social media myself. Love that. So 2022 was arguably the most craziest year in all of professional wrestling. And the two main things I want to talk about on this show are arguably two of the three biggest stories. The third biggest, we'd say the brawl out, the all-out brawl out with Punk and the Bucks. We still don't have any resolution to that. Now, whether or not that is a work or a shoot that's turning into a work or work to turn into a shoot, like, who knows? If you want to check out one perspective, you can check out the new FTR podcast with, I think is it Dax? Dax Harwood, FTR, with Matt Kuhn. His first episode is all about Punk. So if you want to more in-depth, there's a lot of quotes out there that have been coming out in the last week. So I'm not going to rehash all of it, but there's a lot of stuff still unknown about the whole all-out brawl-out. But we'll say that's the third biggest story of the year. I want to go back to WrestleMania. And, of course, the big story coming out of WrestleMania was the return of the one and only American Nightmare Cody Rhodes to WWE. That, at the time, I'm like, nothing is going to top that as far as crazy stories in professional wrestling. Cody, one of the founders of All Elite Wrestling, There's a lot of people that liked and a lot of people that disliked some of the stuff he was doing over in AEW. And over time, the fans in AEW started to turn on him a little bit. Now, whether that was by design or they were just kind of fed up with what Cody was offering them, and then he had a falling out with his fellow Elite members, Matt and Jackson, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, the Elite. He completely disappeared from being in the Elite, and nobody was really sure why. And then he kind of, left AEW, and then it was kind of up in the air. What was Cody Rhodes going to do? Would he try to go back to Japan? Would he, work the Indies? Or would he go back to the Big E and return to WWE? And there was a lot of speculation leading up into the weeks leading into WrestleMania who was going to be Seth Rollins' opponent. If you're reading any of the good old dirt sheets.
Dirty sheets. Ooh.
Thank you for that, Bobby. You knew that the money was on Cody, but nobody was really sure until it actually happened. And then, Seth's in the ring at WrestleMania. The lights go out, and then you hear wrestling has more than one royal family, and then Kingdom by Down Straight comes on, and the crowd goes absolutely ballistic. I personally marked out. And I had stated before, and I will eat a little crow in this, I was not a big Cody fan. Like, I didn't get it. I almost felt like he was a little too smart for his own good and thought too much of himself for his own good. I mean, that was just my own personal take. And what really changed it for me was watching him on the Stone Cold sessions on the WWE Network, on the Peacock WWE Network, in his interview with Steve Austin. That interview alone completely changed my perspective about Cody Rhodes. To the fact that I love Cody Rhodes. I think he's awesome. He respects the business. He respects the history of the business. He knows where he comes from. He knows what he wants. And just to hear him talk in a very more relaxed setting as opposed to cutting promos and things like that completely changed my opinion about him. So I'm flipping the script and going back to say I'm a Cody Rhodes fan. And I'm really hoping that Cody will be back in time for WrestleMania. I mean, he gave us a great match with Seth. The second match was not quite as good. I don't remember what pay-per-view that was at, but at Hell in a Cell, the third match in that trilogy so far, with the torn pec, everything was purple. The gutsy performance he put on, absolutely amazing. That might have been the best of the three matches, and we haven't seen him since. I mean, he did speak on Raw last week, the best of, like the last Raw of 2022. We did hear from him for the first time, so I'm hoping if he's not back at the Rumble, that he'll be back for WrestleMania, because the Rumble is coming up in a couple weeks, and then we are officially going to be on the road to WrestleMania, guys. It is going to be a crazy start to 2023, and just make sure you follow along in the audio form, or if you're watching the video, what up, YouTube? Subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the videos, all that good stuff. I've got a lot of fun content. If you haven't checked it out already, my first official video in 2023 dropped on New Year's Day. It was a little Ringside Collectibles haul. So there's a couple figures in there, which if you haven't seen it, it's these guys right here, these two Undertakers. They're going to get unboxed here on the channel. They're going to be coming very, very soon. But the other stuff, and it's way over there, but I'll just give you a sneak peek. I'll give you a little sneak peek of some of the other stuff that was picked up, like, I don't know, commentator table set. Do we have the other box? Here. I told you, I'm doing this script on the fly. Let's just say that there may be some of this stuff going on. If you're in the audio show, you want to check out the video form or subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then there's a little stack of stuff right there. That stack. It's a stack. And if you have been a long-time fan of the channel, and I'm screwing my cameras up here, if you've been a long-time fan of the channel, you know what that stack is. Now, what I'm trying to do here, and we're going to make this a thing. Oh, and I just picked this up. Black Series from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I picked up Vader, my first Vader, which is kind of surprising considering I love Star Wars. But anyway, I digress. Every Friday, I'm going to try to do some sort of wrestling figure video, whether that is an unboxing, some figure news, something. I'm called Fig Fridays. So you'll see some unboxings. Again, there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 there. There's 2 more back here that you might be able to see that we haven't talked about. And then these 2 over here. So that's at least 2 months of just figure unboxings alone. Not including any other news that's going to come out of Mattel for Elites. Wrestling Funko Pop news, Jazzwares stuff for AEW. What's going to be the status of Jazzwares after they just got bought? It's going to be really interesting. It's a lot of stuff coming in 2023 here on the Wrestling with Fans YouTube channel. So again, if you're listening to the audio version, go down in the show notes, click that YouTube link, and then click subscribe. My goal for this year is to finally, I'm really putting all out. We're at 105 subscribers now as I'm recording this. I believe 105. I'm gonna get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That is my goal. So I need 895 more people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Even if you never watch, now you're gonna watch the videos. You're gonna find some cool stuff. Plus, for Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff, I picked up WWE 2K22. 2K23 is going to be coming probably around WrestleMania time, so you're going to see some 2K22 content here on the channel. Maybe some watch along, let's play, some live streams, things like that. All that stuff is coming in 2023. I'm going all out. I'm going all out this year. It's an all or nothing year. It's either going to be, it's a make or break year for wrestling fans. So we're either going to make it or it's going to break. So we'll see how things go. I think we're going to make it because you guys are awesome. All the support in the last year, in the last 4.5 years coming out. I didn't even talk about the 4th anniversary. So in March, we will hit 5 years of the Wrestling with Fans podcast. And I'd like to, got some ideas for planning some stuff. So we'll see how things go. But 5 years coming up here in the near future as well. Just a couple quick little things I wanted to chat about in between stories, but the main story of the year. Vincent Kennedy McMahon stepped down as CEO and chairman of the board of directors and officially retired from WWE. Now, there's a lot going on with that because that story is still ongoing. I'm going to touch on that here in a minute, but there's a lot of scandals about payoffs for some sexual misconduct, some inappropriate relationships, lots of payoffs. Vince had originally stepped away for a little while and made Stephanie the interim chairwoman of the board. And then John Laurinaitis, a.k.a. Johnny Ace, also was relieved of his duties and let go of the company. More and more women come out. A lot of stuff with Rita Chatterton. I'm sure you've heard that name a lot at the end of 2022, and I'm sure you're going to continue to hear more about Rita in the months to come as this other Wall Street Journal article has come out about Vince. Here's the thing with the second Wall Street Journal article. Let's skip to that part real quick. Apparently Vince has it in his mind that he wants to return to WWE, that he thinks he can come back and step back into his roles within WWE, and said he took some, air quotes, bad advice from people to step away when he thinks he probably could have just disappeared for a while and just let it blow over and all would have been good. Well, I can just say, and on behalf of everybody else, and I'm sure it's been said a million times by a million other people, but let me just say it here in 2023. Vince, we don't want you back. I love Vince McMahon. When he did step away, I had a lot of heartfelt comments about his impact on the wrestling world and in turn to my life. But at this point, I think WWE is in one of the best positions that they've been in quite some time. Stephanie and Nick Khan, no relation to Tony, our co-chairman, chairwoman or co-CEOs. Stephanie is the chairwoman of the board. Paul Triple H Levesque is now heading WWE Creative, and it is like the replay, the best of Triple H. So many people being brought back into the company since taking over Creative. The most recent was Bronson Reed, just like a week or two ago on Monday Night Raw. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that have returned. And it'll be really interesting to see if the once thought up Triple H vision for the future of WWE plays out now with bringing in a lot of these more famous stars from like the independents, people that made a name for themselves elsewhere. Vince never really I don't think never ever really liked to push someone that didn't make his name. Like if Vince didn't make him, he didn't want any real part of him or didn't do a lot with him. But I think Triple H is smarter to recognize talent, and he's going to be pushing people that I think are more akin to Triple H's vision for the future of pro wrestling, and not necessarily what Vince McMahon thought. But the fact that Vince, now all of a sudden in this new Wall Street Journal article that came out, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I'm sure it's been talked about a lot, saying he wants to come back, and I'm not here for it. I am not here for it. But it's still the craziest thing. Like I never thought, even if he does come back, let's just say that happens. I still never thought I would live in a world without Vince McMahon running WWE. Yes, I'm 41 years old. Yes, I know Vince is in his 70s. And more than likely, I don't know. There's a good chance Vince could outlive me. I mean, I'll die when I'm 80 and Vince will be like 120. So you never know. But, I never thought I'd live in a world without Vince McMahon running WWE. And now that we're here, it's been absolutely a breath of fresh air. I'm not saying everything is great because there are a lot of issues. And I think we all know what they are without having to, go too much into detail about some of the issues with WWE programming. Raw being 3 hours, that's the only one I'll talk about. But we all know Raw is 3 hours long and it's just ridiculously long. But I mean, I think Triple H is the right guy. He knows. If you hear the dogs in the background, I apologize. He's the kind of guy that knows what he wants, and he has a vision of what he thinks the fans want. Now, Triple H's vision for what WWE wants is probably what like us smart mark fans or us smart fans want. But it's still all about the families. The families are the ones spending the money in the arenas and on the merch and things like that. They're spending the most money out of everybody. So I think Triple H is trying to blend in stuff that's going to bring the families to the arenas, but also keep the smart fans happy. They're the vocal minority. We are a vocal minority by the long shot, as far as like the smarter fans. And that's why I think in 2023, I'm going to try to separate myself a little bit from the whole backstage drama, from all of the what's that word I'm looking for here? It's coming to me.
Dirty sheets. Ooh.
The dirt sheets. I'm just gonna try to enjoy the product, and I'll do some stuff like on the channel where I'll be literally just be talking, and I'll say it's a news video talking about some of the dirt sheet stuff or insider things. I'd like to really make Wrestling with Fans about the fans' perspective again. Going back to just concentrating on the product, what's going on, storylines, things like that. I'm not saying keeping it kayfabe. I don't want to say it's going to be straight kayfabe, but I kind of want to get away from the whole insider knowledge. Oh, we know what's coming. I'd like to talk about what things I see and just my takes on things, and hoping to get some guests back in here on the show very soon. My buddy Rick, shout out Rick. His episode where he joined me was very popular. There was a Crown Jewel for Dirty Saudi Blood Money. A lot of fun. Hope to get him back on the show here very soon. I would love to get best friend of the show, Jason, on the show here very soon. I'd love to get Bobby back, and if he wanted to come back and do some appearances here and there, Chris, would be fun to have him back on the show as well. But I'm going to make it more about the fans, about what we see, what we like, things like that. So going forward in 2022, I'm going to try to do some more live streams. And I say that all the time, and I've been failing at it. But we're going to do some live streams, some interactive stuff. I'm going to try to be more active on social media. I've been posting more on social media already in the first 2 days of 2022 than I did at all in the last month and a half of 2022. So that's where I stand. So Cody coming back to WWE, Vince McMahon leaving WWE. To me, those are the two biggest stories in all of wrestling. All Out, Brawl Out, I'll touch on it very briefly. is up there. Um, and I'll just say this: the best thing of all in 2022 is the Bloodline storyline with Roman and the Usos and Solo Sikoa, and of course the honorary Us himself, Sami Zayn, and of course Paul Heyman. It has been the best thing going. I mean, to me, that's the best thing in all of 2022 was the Bloodline and everything going on with the Bloodline throughout the entire year. They managed to keep it fresh and not rehash things too terribly much, and also keep introducing new aspects to the story to keep it fresh and to keep it kind of moving forward. I do think that 2023 will be the end of the whole Bloodline thing. I think Sami at some point will either get turned on by the Bloodline or he will turn on them himself and go after Roman and one of his two belts. I'm really hoping that we get 2 title matches at WrestleMania this year, that we get 1 belt off of Roman, whichever one they want to do. I don't care. Let him, if he wants to stay on SmackDown, get the WWE title off of him, get it on somebody else. Figure out a way to do it. They're apparently going to try to do that at Clash at the Castle, and they just ended up not pulling the trigger. I don't know how they're going to do that. With him holding 2 belts, like every match he's had has been for both belts. So is someone going to challenge for just one? I mean, if they had a Money in the Bank, they could potentially do that, but they don't have Money in the Bank right now. I don't know how WWE is going to do it, but I think this is going to be the year that Roman loses one of the belts, and then he can go, prize fighter, part-time champion. If they still want to do that, I'm all for it. But we need another world champion, the WWE champion. Somebody could take the banner of the company going forward and be on TV every week. That's what we need. I mean, I'd love for the brand extension just to be done anyway, just make one big roster. That's, again, I say that every year, and every year nothing ever comes of it. And also, another highlight of 2022, the wife and I went to Pittsburgh back the first weekend in December 9th, that was that Friday. Pittsburgh, SmackDown, PPG Paints Arena, Kurt Angle's birthday celebration, Milkomania 2.0. I was in the house, floor seats, 9th row, from the ring behind Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. Luckily, we weren't doused with milk, but we were very close to getting doused with milk. But just the live experience was so fun. I mean, if you have the opportunity to go to WWE event live, whether it be TV or a house show live event, go. It was so fun. Get floor seats. I told the wife, I was like, it's floor seats or bust now. So anytime Jen and I go to a wrestling event, which I almost did, there's an event coming. It's about 2.5 hours from us on the 14th of January. It's a house show on a Saturday evening. I almost pulled the trigger and bought floor seats, 3rd row, and then got the VIP experience with it. So maybe I can finagle it. Maybe I can swing it. Maybe we'll come to you. But I'm not holding my breath because we got a lot of other things coming up in 2023, which we can't talk about right now. We can talk about it in the future. Not right now. Yeah, that's all I've got. Again, this is more of an off-the-cuff, shooting from the hip kind of episode. Just wanted to talk about a couple big things. That I wanted to, the 2 biggest stories to me in all of wrestling this past year, Cody and Vince. And I have a feeling that 2023 could be shaping up to be just as crazy a year. Vince does come back. Cody makes his return. I think, I don't think it's such a bold prediction, but I'm pretty sure Cody Rhodes is going to win one of the WWE World titles in 2023. Maybe at WrestleMania. I got a lot of the WrestleMania thoughts, but I'm going to save those for later down the line on the official road to WrestleMania, which kicks off at Royal Rumble, which is coming to us. And I probably should have known this, so let's look this up. Royal Rumble 2023. Let's see, events. So, Royal Rumble 2023 is January 28th, so we still got a ways to go. We got 1, 2, 3, almost 4 weeks away. Almost 4 weeks away for the Royal Rumble. Coming to us on January 28th. Oh, it's in a nice spot there. The Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. That's going to be a lot of people. Right now, early on, we just have the men's match, the women's match, and Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. whatever that's supposed to be. I do love me some Mountain Dew Pitch Black, but I can't have it anymore. More on that in the future as well. And for the Royal Rumble participants, Kofi Kingston was announced on December 2nd as being the first participant for the Royal Rumble. And it appears we're going to have some Royal Rumble qualifying matches. You just won't be able to declare for the Rumble like in the past. Some people are going to have to qualify. So I'm really interested to see how they play that out over the next few weeks. What kind of surprise returns we got. I am so looking forward to the Rumble. It's going to be on a Saturday night. So, of course, we're going to be up watching it. Maybe we'll do a watch along. Haven't done one of those in a while. And then, of course, do the full review after the fact. But, yeah. So real quick, let's get to the social media stuff. Then I'll come back and close up the show here. So without further ado, let's take a little pause for the calls. For a quick moment, first off, thank you for checking out Wrestling with Fans here on YouTube. If you're enjoying what you see, make sure to leave a big old thumbs up and click that subscribe button down below. The other ways you can help support the show is to follow us across all of our other social medias. Check us out, facebook.com/Wrestling with Fans. Hulk smash that like button to keep up to date with everything going on here with Wrestling with Fans. Or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Wrestling with Fans. Check us out on the web at WrestlingWithFans.com. New audio shows go up every single Sunday at midnight. Or you can take us on the go, download us to your favorite podcast, the listening device. You can get us wherever you get your podcast fix. Just search Wrestling with Fans Podcast. We are on all the major platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Wherever you get your podcast fix, you can find Wrestling with Fans. Last but certainly not least, comments, questions, feedback, topics you want covered on the show, shoot me an email, wwfshow@gmail.com. Again, that's wwfshow@gmail.com. Links to everything are down in the video description down below, so make sure you check that out. Without further ado, back to the show. All right, coming back here to end the show. Again, thank you to everybody who downloaded the shows last year. I didn't even look at the numbers. I just know that there were several times in the year that we did over 4,000 downloads. And to me, that just completely blows my mind. So thank you all. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. You had a very happy and safe start or end of 2022 and start to 2023. Happy. It's a new year. Yes, it is. Hope, everybody's well going into the new year. I underwent my surgery back the week before Christmas. We'll talk about that in the future, but let's just say Big Kyle's not going to be so big anymore. I'm going through some really big life changes, and I'm very happy with everything that's gone on so far, and even more that's coming. Stuff we can't talk about, but stuff we can talk about in the future. When that comes up, we'll talk about it. I'm really focusing back on just my love of wrestling in 2023. 2022, there were times I didn't watch wrestling, and I just kind of literally just watched YouTube clips and listened to other podcasts to come up with stuff for the show, and I don't do that anymore. I miss wrestling, and I want to love watching wrestling again. And again, if you haven't done so, check us out on YouTube if you're listening to the audio show. If you're watching on YouTube, consider downloading the audio show as well. Fig Friday, where it's unboxings, Fig news, other stuff like that, coming to you every single Friday. And then I'm working on a couple other things. Got some ideas for 7 facts about, where it's 7 random facts about a certain wrestler. I do wrestling trivia videos, WWE 2K22. I'm excited to be playing some more 2K22 heading into the new year. It's been fun. What little I've been able to play over the holiday season, I've really enjoyed it. Been downloading some superstars with some GM mode, some universe mode, some fun stuff here on the channel. I'm going to be working on that. But that's going to do it, guys. Thank you all for joining me for this very first edition of the podcast in 2023. I enjoyed my little 3-week break for the holiday season. I completely just kind of separated from everything there for a while. So it's kind of nice. But as you can see, a little bit of different look. Only got one light going on. The studio underwent a little bit of some changes. So be on the lookout. This is the first part, the first little tease of the new look here at Wrestling with Fans. So as you can see right there, my Taker stuff. Got more stuff coming. Got another display I'm working on back here. I got this little thing over here next to the setup that I'm really excited for you guys to see too. I've been working on that. I kind of like how things are coming along so far, but maybe we'll do an office tour later this month. Maybe we'll do it for Royal Rumble weekend. We'll do like an office store, a new studio set up. So we'll see. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for episode 219. Wow, 219 episodes in. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, my name is Kyle, and I'll see you next time right here on Wrestling with